Oh, I didn't realize I was recording. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to the monthly read for November 2025, the second to last month of the year. I was going to say day of the month, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I see the kids on the internets doing this, attaching this to random things. This is my Cruella de Vil extended cigarette holder, which I actually never put anything in, but I did carry it around. So we are doing the card pull. We're going to see what cards want to be pulled. And in doing that, we are going to discover what the message is for us. I'm going to pause it so that I can put this down and shuffle. Okay, to give you some ASMR, I'm going to hold this up here while I shuffle. And we're going to ask the Numinous Tarot, what message does November wish to give to us? What message, Numinous Tarot? Give us something clear. Okay, we have one fall out. And I feel like you're also turned. Interesting card to fall out. But 'tis the season. Okay, so then we have the Numinous Tarot. And then we have the Onyx Tarot by Courtney Alexander. Numinous Tarot is by Cedar. And hello, you're welcome. Welcome to the monthly read. My name is Sonia Stell. If you're on my Patreon, which means you get this first a month early, then thank you for being a patron at any tier, 1, 5, or 10. It's simple. I didn't want to make it too complex. And if you are not on my Patreon and you want to get these early in the month at the beginning, then you can join my Patreon. The links are all in my YouTube bio. If you're just one of the YouTube people, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Feel free to share my shit. Watch it again. Listen to it like a podcast. Watch it. Whatever feels good to you. Now, let's see. I think that's all that we have there with those. So let's see. I had music start. All right. So, we have COA in the key this time, and concern, opportunity, obstacle, advantage, aversion, and do cards want to be read reversed? No. Is this one of the cards? No. Okay. So the way it's looking, obviously I have not. Is this the mass skeleton key? And this is the keys. Okay. So hi. Yes. Back to you. So we have COA and the keys. If you've been around and you're not new to this, then you know the COA stands for the concern card, the opportunity or the obstacle card, the advantage or the aversion card, and that our key cards are the master key, the skeleton key that unlocks all the doors, and the keystone that is the stone that's holding up the whole building. And we're going to see which is like a opener and which is a foundation. Then this reading, even though I'm still reading reversed, as far as I know, I guess I'm not reading reversed anymore. My pendulum changed. Now I'm using amethyst again. And before I was using a particular kind of quartz, like a golden quartz. And so now I'm not reading reversed anymore. What do you know? I guess it's pendulum specific. So now let's get into this reading. What is the concern? We start with the creator of candles. Pretty sure the creators in this deck are equivalent to the queens because this is a gender non-conforming deck, queer-friendly deck. But let's say Queen of Wands, right? Because candles is wands. So actually, this card has been coming up a lot, okay? And it's super important with the Queen of Wands that we are in right relationship with community and that we are in community because Wands is our suit of the individual's relationship to groups. How am I in relationship with family? How am I in relationship with friends? How am I in relationship with colleagues? How am I in relationship with neighbors? How am I in relationship with exes, etc., right? So when we get to the top of the wands, when we're mastering the suit, or let's say a layer of the suit, because it's like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. So once we're mastering an upgrade of the suit, and we're in that creator of candles or Queen of Wands, we are embodying our relationships by not apologizing for them, but also by establishing the kinds of relationships that we actually want to have. And we are untroubled by whether people outside of us are interested in the same kinds of, connections that we have, the same kinds of passions that we have, the same kinds of things that we want to do and who we want to do with them with, unless of course we have agreements, of course. But if we're talking about, explicit arrangements, like this is what I do, these are my interests, and this is what I'm going to go, and this is who I'm going to go do it with. Well, also the consideration that the Queen of Wands is like a dynamic figure, right? Like it's someone who garners attention. They are, they stand out in a group, right? And they stand out in a group because they're not afraid to take up the space that they're in. They're very present, they're very engaged, and they have like, like social skills, right? So they have a social acumen. They have, that could be the gift of gab, that could just be diplomacy, that could be, the ability to rub elbows with people. It could be a bedside manner, but this is somebody who knows how to, communicate effectively in groups. And so we begin with that energy in November, and I love to see that for us. So now that's the concern. How are we treating the concern? Like a stepping stone or like a roadblock? Is our next card an opportunity or an obstacle? It doesn't want to change. The Five of Pentacles. Okay. Look at this. Or in this case, Five of Pentacles, right? Because the books are the pentacles in this deck. Look at this person. They're burning books outside the library. Like, are there people in the library? Let's zoom in. No, there's nobody in the library. Why can't we go in the library to get warm? Why we got to burn the books outside? But I always have thought of the Five of Pentacles as being a beggar outside of the sanctuary. And when sanctuary is meant for beggars to take sanctuary in. So like, why would the beggar have to be outside of the sanctuary? Either the beggar doesn't believe that sanctuary is possible in the place that it is promised, or the place that is promised to offer that sanctuary is acting unethically. And it could be both as well. So with this being the opportunity, the obstacle, let's just go ahead and call it an obstacle. Okay. Because if we're supposed to be present, take up space, be in right relationship with different communities, but we're a beggar outside of the sanctuary of our alignment, of our path, of the things that we are called to do and the things that we are most aligned to do and agreed to do, then we are slowing down our ability to engage in not only our bodies, being fully present, but also in the landscape and the habitat, right? Because tombs, pentacles, they rule the landscape, the habitat, location, the physical body, reaping what we sow, finances, foundation. And I personally think of pentacles as ruling lineage, right? Like we're made out of our ancestors, but they're in the fire, the water, the dirt, the air, right? Like everyone who has died on earth is still on earth. So they're a part of the earth, right? And pentacles, tombs, rule the earth. So when we see this card as the obstacle, it's like, all right, well, if I'm supposed to be utilizing the community that I have, the resources that I have, the people that I'm actually aligned with in order to claim sanctuary within my own life, right? To know that I am exactly who I need to be, exactly where I need to be, exactly when, how, why, what I need to be, that I am checking off the current events of myself, and that I would be no one else and I would be nowhere else, that I'm at the exact coordinates of my existential purpose. And I have no doubts about the fact that I have the right to exist and take up the space that I do. Then that would be, getting over this dynamic in the Five of Pentacles, where we are still asking for not only permission to do what is already agreed upon, promised, declared, aligned, but that we are also not in the right relationship. Because if you're in the right location and you're present in your body, then you are going to meet the right groups. And if you're not in the right location and not present in your body, you are not going to meet the right groups. Because how do you meet people if you're not present in the landscape, right? So thinking about the earth being an opportunity or an obstacle to then engage with people, it also makes sense that we go where there's natural alignment. So you already know that I do this, but I like to say, this is my quantum energetics tool called magnetization polarization, right? This is me. This is me. This is you. We say, this is who I am. These are my goals, my desires, my hangups, my fears, my ambitions, my concerns. Do you want to be with me, or do you want to hire me, or do you want to be my friend, or do you want to be my roommate, or do you want to be in a relationship with me? And then someone will respond in one of three ways, either through mutual attraction, Mutual attraction always leads to action, right? Do you want to go to dinner? Yes, I want to go to dinner. We're at dinner, right? The reason that mutual attraction leads to action and the reason that there is no doubt in this kind of bond is because the relationship is the receptacle to alleviate the doubt. And so if you have a question, you'll ask it in the relationship and the relationship will answer it, right? And that doesn't mean that the relationship has to answer every question that you have, but it's more that if there's a relationship and there's a concern in the relationship, we are at liberty and we feel free to and comfortable engaging in that relationship in order to resolve what the issue is, right? There's a mutual attraction to resolve. Then you can do this, and then someone can respond through undecided attraction. Oh, stagnation, inertia. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Ask me later. I'll do it later. I can't answer that right now. I can't think about that right now. Right? Indecision, ambiguity, lack of clarity, spinning our wheels, going nowhere. Right? Or back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the third option, which is obvious, should be the most obvious, ideally, is unrequited attraction, which is when people are like, will you, and the person that you're asking to never actually responds in the way that you are asking to be engaged with, and may not even be responding at all, engaged with you at all, interested at all, right? Now, over the course of a life, of course, we're going to go through all these stages, right? We might be going along in mutual attraction, a circumstance might take place, and then we might be thinking to ourselves, oh, like, do I want to remain in this circumstance? Do I really want to be connected to this person if they're capable of this thing or whatever? And then that's undecided attraction, right? We're in a moment of reflection. Will I, won't I? Will I, won't I? And then unrequited attraction may come as a result of deciding, no, actually, I don't want to be in this situation anymore, so I'm going to extract myself, right? Even if the person is coming after you, like, you can have this position. And that means that the fourth option, especially if you know you want a mutually attractive life and you find yourself in undecided attraction or unrequited attraction, and no matter how clear you are, how communicative you are, how much you express that things are this way or that or the other, that it never clarifies and you never get what you actually want, which would mean that you're not the one keeping it out of mutual attraction. You're not the one maintaining undecided attraction or unrequited attraction. It's the other person that you're attempting to engage with, which means you have a fourth option. It's one of the most powerful options, which is mutual repulsion, right? Okay, I can't have mutual attraction with you, so I choose myself. I go in the direction of my own interest, which I may not be clear on what that is, but I know what it isn't. It's not you, so I go away from you and I go towards whatever is more interesting to me after that. And I trust that that path will take me wherever I need to go. So assuming that we're doing this in the right landscape with the right people, considering the creator of candles and the Five of Tombs, it's like, you're saying I am this way, and whoever needs to actually be engaged with me is going to engage with who I actually am. And we're not saying that, like, if you don't engage with me this way, that I have to settle to be in a relationship with someone who does not know how to receive me in this way. I can instead go to those in the community and those landscapes where I am actually seen and heard and appreciated, right? Now, our third card is, what is the advantage or the aversion, right? What about my character is helping or hurting me in the situation? And the card doesn't want to change. So we have, okay, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Tombs. Look, we're in a whole library, motherfucker. So the beauty is, like, I mean, what is one of my teachers, Bashar, says, location is a quality of a thing. Change the location and you change the thing. And why that matters is because this motherfucker's in the wrong location. Okay. So they need to go find, this is where they're supposed to be, right? They're all outside this shit inside. Look at everybody. They're doing all right, right? And how do we know that? Because the lights are on. Someone is home. Okay. And where the lights are on, or there's someone's home, like, is this taxi vacant theory? Like, is their light on? It will be mutually attractive. Mutual attraction is the zeros of the binary code of relating, and mutual repulsion are the ones of the binary code of relating. It's not that undecided attraction or unrequited attraction aren't useful, but they're propulsion instigators that are supposed to get you to a place of mutual attraction or mutual repulsion. You're not supposed to live an undecided attraction or unrequited attraction unless you're getting something out of not being in alignment with your most aligned self, right? Like I said to somebody this weekend, a client probably, like, alignment is the safest place to be. So as long as you're aligned with your destiny, that's going to be a safe place for you, even if for other people they can't come along. And the 10 of Pentacles there is like, there's a wealth of opportunity, community, places, people, things that you could be engaging with if you were determined to find your way home, right? Where home is like resonance and not wanting to be anywhere else and not wanting to be anyone else, and not looking at the clock, not looking at the calendar, feeling resourced and supported and in right relationship. And oh, my light went off. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fix this. Give me a second, because I do want a little bit of. There we go. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, it's actually low-key kind of better lighting. Okay, so where was I? There's a plethora, there's an abundance of things that you can successfully take action on, right? Because physical action is the language of physical reality, and Pentacles is the physical suit. It's the body suit. It's the material suit. It's the one that has to take a physical action. So if what about our character helps us or hurts us is that we can go elsewhere, that we can be in right community if we're not right now, and that we can increase right community by just extending ourselves and being present and showing up in the moment and being in alignment with our passions and attracting who we need to attract, and not insisting that people who are not mutually attracted to us need to be in relationship to us outside of, being civil, like, I am a clerk and I am going to do my job kind of thing. I'm not talking about when your work in society. I'm talking about in your personal life. If you do it in your personal life, then society will begin to reflect that more and more. Now, last but not least, we have our master key and our keystone. Our master key is the 3 of Blades. Okay, so like, we got to heal heartbreak, okay? We have to heal expectation. We have to heal they coulda, woulda, shoulda done, because if they didn't, then that's not the way that it was existentially meant to go. And since that's not how it was existentially meant to go, that means you must need to be with someone else, or be somewhere else, or be in another program, or be in another school, or be in another place, country, whatever. And that, you need to get on existence's schedule. And you're here a lamentation and circling the drain on this coulda, woulda, shoulda, and existence is like, could not, should not, would not, and could not, would not, should not, could, Chuck would, okay, and that the key is to heal the wounds, right? Something I wrote in my newsletter this weekend is, I rebuke being unhealed. Like, I will be healed. The team of me every moment that I pass the baton to, we getting it done. And we getting it done because it's our birthright to exist. And if I want to exist because it's my birthright, which I do, then I also want to exist in a way where I don't have to be under duress, right? So I will be healed so that I am not living in a constant state of duress. And that's what I know I'm entitled to. And existence has not gotten in my way. It has given me problems to solve. But if there's no problems, there's no solutions, nothing to do, And I came to existence to do shit. So I'm on it, right? Now, our master stone that's holding up the whole building, Ace of Blades. Okay, the aces came through. The blades came through. So, Ace of Swords. Okay, Ace of Swords. Aces are always a boon, always a skill that we have that lends itself to our alignment. And Swords are the suit of air, intellect, aligning our intellectual intelligence with our physical intelligence and our emotional intelligence, our relational intelligence, which is Wands, which creates a cohesive spiritual intelligence, which would be the major arcana, but we didn't get any of those. But the ace is the culmination of one of the upgrades of the sword suit, right? Like, I don't know if you're on 1.0, 3.0, 17,000.0, but whatever, we're upgrading because we're at the end of the suit. I read my aces high. And we need to be playing the right game, right? If I have an ace in my pocket, I don't need to be playing Scrabble. I need to be playing gin rummy.
poker, something else, right? And so there is a quality with the Ace of Swords where it's like, I need to do what I need to do. I need to have my integrity. I need to be in alignment with my own self. I need to be able to look in the mirror to myself and say, you did that shit and I got you tomorrow, or I got you the next day, or good job team, and go to bed and feel that way and be willing to be in your life and know that you are capable of directing where you need to go. And I assign a pop culture figure to all of my aces, and the Ace of Blades is Megan Thee Stallion, right? Because it, without, people gaslit her, they didn't believe her, they accused her of shooting herself, they accused her of putting herself in significant, like all the harm's way that she was calling other people out for, and all she had to do was maintain her integrity, because she can't be pinned to a crime that she didn't do, and to continue to move forward in her life to the people who actually could appreciate the truth about her and about their reality with her. And so now look at her now. Okay, so that could be you. Us a year from now looks back on this version of self and says, girl, what, or, you know, you ain't gotta be girl, I am, but they're like, you know, what for you was the ceiling, for me is the floor. And so we need to trust the future selves to raise the bar, and that means each version of us has to pass the baton a little bit higher. That's the reading. Thanks for being here. See you next month for our last month of the year's monthly read for December. Bye bye now.